Hello there, collectors. It's going to be Steven here, and I have a different sort of video for you today. But I think as many folks as possible maybe need to see this. And yeah, I don't think it's the best news ever. Seeing what's in front of you here, and then what the title is. Yeah, we got something very different going on. Yeah, it's Megalopolis. Our good friends are back again in another lawsuit, not with Entertainment Earth this time. So there may be some information here that is sort of not doxy-ish, but this is public information available through court paperwork. So what are we looking at right here? Well, right now what you can see there is the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Division. Whew. This is the case number that is up here. We can see that Ship Monk is the plaintiff in a lawsuit against Toy Overlord Inc., doing business as Megalopolis. Here's the big thing. Megalopolis has effectively been defunct for years now. If you go to their website, which actually is still up, it just says coming soon. Interesting. However, if you know, you know. And you know that for years, likewise, hello kitty, my cat decided to join in. For years, it's been known that Premium DNA has been associated with Megalopolis and Toy Overlord, whether it was through what I affectionately call press rounds for Megalopolis, talking about how Premium DNA was their in-house brand for making action figures and obtaining licenses, or even afterwards, them saying that we are reformed and we have different people working with us, or we're not the same people, or we sold whatever the case may be, Premium DNA and Megalopolis are going to either be brothers from another mother, sisters from another mister, who knows what it is, they're in the same wheelhouse. That is what they have communicated to us in other forms of media. Okay? So now that we know that, the only thing we can officially say is this is going to be against Toy Overlord and Megalopolis. Premium DNA, as you're going to see, isn't really mentioned at all. Keep that in mind. So I am going to skip around because realistically speaking, this is a whole bunch of legal mumbo jumbo and jargon. It goes into the invoices and stuff, which honestly, if you want to know about the nitty-gritty and you want to see the exhibits, you've got the information here. Pacer Law, you can look it up. Not hard to find. If you want to go on the actual court's docket, on the website for the respective docket, you can go ahead and you can do that. Now, getting directly to the point, it goes on talking about how they have the correct venue, the facts common to all of the counts related to their exhibits. The only thing that I will point out is these target dates here. Service agreements, okay. Invoices. But notice on June 5th, 2024, remember about the target dates for Premium DNA's Earthworm Gems to be released? Yeah. Okay, so continuing on down, we have the breach of contract, and let's get to the nitty-gritty. Wherefore, Shipmonk demands judgment in its favor for the amount of more than $120,000 plus and or minus judgment, interest, fees accrued, along with legal fee payment, so on and so forth. I'm summarizing that. Now, what does that mean? Shipmonk wants a lot of money. Now, here we go here. What this here is a request for a motion to default on the final judgment. What does that mean? Again, I will spare you the super duper technical legal stuff as I understand it. I want to make it very clear that I am not a lawyer and giving you advice or interpreting this. I am just reading this and summarizing it best as I understand it. What this basically is a motion to put forward a default because Toy Overlord Megalopolis did not respond or participate And here we have all of the reasoning as to why the clerk's default was put in place on March 19th, 2025, and this was just submitted the other day. In case you may have missed it, the original lawsuit here, if my mouse would work, was filed at the end of September of 2024. Yeah. Okay, so, I went a little too far. Okay, so here we go. We're looking at everything. The total due up until the other day is nearly 170 grand to a company on paper here only has a website that has, I think it just says coming soon to it on its homepage. That's it. That's a lot to have a need to pay for a website that just has coming soon. Now, to go along with that, we do have an order from the judge on the case that there needs to be something that is filed or the whole case will get thrown out, and which the plaintiff did, and that is going to be BetaBox or Shipmunk. They did that, so they did make the filing. So that's what this is that I just showed you. There are a whole bunch of exhibits, goes over the invoices, what was refunded back to Toy Overlord over the years, what wasn't, the actual agreement. We don't have to go over that. You can look it up yourselves. If you are interested, you have the court that this is through. You have the actual case number. Again, I'm not interpreting this for anyone. I'm summarizing what I'm reading here in front of me. I'm using my thinking muscle that's between my ears. But the main point being is kind of trying to tie this all together is it's confusing as to why we're looking at Toy Overlord and Megalopolis when effectively Megalopolis doesn't exist anymore. Like, there's only a website that we can find. Now, again, Premium DNA. There's one mention of Premium DNA. And that is in it looks like an invoice that the lawyers had where they did research into one of the Westovers, Toy Overlord, and Premium DNA toys. Correspondence with process server providing a detailed background and requesting options for service. So I'm assuming options for service. I'm assuming this was done on 11/22/24. I'm assuming this means how to provide service, which means when you have a lawsuit, you have to perfect service, which means you have to let the people know who you're serving or you're filing a case against. You have to let them know that they're getting taken to court. So that is something that they had to do. So Premium DNA was brought into this in some way, shape, or form. So that's what we have. We have Shipmunk that's going after a company that doesn't really exist anymore, it looks like. Okay, so now that that's over, this basically, I'm thinking, is what has to do with Premium DNA and why they've been silent for so long as they have. Earthworm Jim hasn't shipped out. Their website is under construction. They've been completely silent on social media starting around the dates listed in these court documents, these filings, these complaints. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Of course, I'm not saying anything for certain. I'm not saying anything is true. Everything is only alleged in a Minecraft movie starring Jack Black and Jason Momoa, which is currently taking the world by storm. But again, the point being here is I think folks should know, because this is a company, once again, with a lawsuit involving a lot of money, that apparently a default entry is put against them, and we should be seeing results here in a few days. What I was able to see is there is no update aside from the default being submitted. Stay tuned for more. If you have any money tied up, do as you will with this information or not. Yeah, that's it.